The story of the X-ray is one of the most remarkable tales in the history of science and medicine. A discovery that came unexpectedly, almost by accident, but forever transformed the way humanity could look at itself and the world around it. The invention of X-rays in the late 19th century marked the beginning of a new era where the invisible became visible, where the hidden structures of the human body could be seen without a single incision. To tell the story of X-rays is to trace the journey of curiosity, chance, experimentation, controversy, and technological advancement, and to understand how one discovery gave rise to entirely new fields of knowledge that continue to shape the modern world. The roots of the X-ray story stretch back further than Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen, the German physicist who is universally credited with their discovery in 1895. Long before Roentgen's famous experiment, scientists had already been exploring phenomena related to electricity, cathode rays, and the invisible forces of nature. The 18th and 19th centuries were periods of explosive scientific progress. Scientists such as William Crookes, Heinrich Hertz, and Philip Leonard were already probing into the strange behavior of invisible rays that seemed to pass through substances in unexpected ways. What they lacked was the crucial step to recognize their true nature and potential. In November of 1895, Wilhelm Roentgen, then a professor of physics at the University of Würzburg in Germany, was conducting experiments with cathode ray tubes. These were glass tubes from which most of the air had been evacuated, allowing electricity to pass through in the form of glowing rays. Roentgen had been working late into the night when he noticed something strange. He had covered the tube with black cardboard to block out visible light, yet in a darkened room, he observed a faint glowing fluorescence on a nearby screen coated with barium platinocyanide. Intrigued, he began a series of systematic experiments. He found that these mysterious rays could pass through books, papers, wood, and even thin sheets of metal. They cast shadows of objects placed in their path, revealing internal structures. Because their nature was unknown, Roentgen called them X-rays, the X standing for the unknown. Within weeks of his discovery, Roentgen had conducted one of the most famous experiments in the history of science, the first X-ray photograph. He placed his wife's hand between the tube and the fluorescent screen, exposing a photographic plate for several minutes. When his wife saw the image of her own skeletal hand, she was said to have exclaimed, "I have seen my death." The image shocked the world. It seemed almost supernatural to be able to look inside the human body without surgery, to see the bones hidden beneath the flesh. But it was real, and within weeks, Roentgen's discovery spread rapidly across Europe and beyond. Roentgen published his first paper on X-rays, titled "On a New Kind of Rays." In December 1895, the news quickly captured the imagination of both scientists and the public. Newspapers printed the story, magazines published the eerie images of bones and objects photographed with X-rays, and people were fascinated by the seemingly magical ability to see through solid matter. Within months, laboratories across Europe and America were replicating Roentgen's experiments. For centuries, diagnosis of internal injuries had depended on physical examination and guesswork. Now, for the first time, broken bones, swallowed objects, and bullets lodged inside the body could be seen directly. Surgeons could locate foreign objects with precision before attempting operations. It was revolutionary. By early 1896, less than a year after Roentgen's discovery, doctors were already using X-rays to identify fractures and locate bullets in wounded patients. The technology was crude by modern standards. Exposures often took many minutes, the equipment was bulky, and the radiation levels were extremely high. But the benefits were undeniable. Soldiers injured in battle during the late 19th and early 20th centuries were among the earliest beneficiaries of this new diagnostic tool. During World War I, mobile X-ray units were used on the battlefield to examine wounded soldiers. a practice that saved countless lives by allowing surgeons to operate with greater accuracy and speed. While X-rays opened unprecedented opportunities, they also carried hidden dangers that were not understood at first. Early experimenters and doctors were often exposed to high doses of radiation, leading to burns, skin damage, and in some tragic cases, cancers and even death. Many of the pioneers of X-ray technology paid with their health or their lives. Enthusiasts even promoted X-rays for frivolous purposes, such as X-ray shoe fitting machines in stores, where customers could see their foot bones while trying on shoes, or novelty X-ray photographs sold to the public. These uses, while fascinating, exposed people unnecessarily to dangerous radiation. It would take decades of research before safety standards and protective measures were established. The discovery of X-rays also sparked a wave of scientific exploration. Other scientists began investigating the mysterious rays further. In 1896, Henri Becquerel in France discovered natural radioactivity while studying phosphorescent materials, a discovery closely tied to the phenomena of X-rays. Marie and Pierre Curie went on to isolate radium and polonium, laying the foundation for nuclear science. In many ways, Roentgen's accidental discovery of X-rays opened the door to the entire field of modern physics, including atomic and nuclear research. The Nobel Committee recognized the significance of Roentgen's work, awarding him the very first Nobel Prize in Physics in 1901. He was celebrated worldwide, though he remained modest and refused to patent his discovery, insisting it belonged to humanity. The story of X-rays continued to evolve throughout the 20th century. Advances in technology improved the quality and safety of X-ray imaging. The introduction of better vacuum tubes, the development of rotating anode X-ray tubes, and the use of film greatly enhanced the clarity of images. In the 1970s, the invention of computed tomography, or CT scanning, revolutionized medical imaging further by using X-rays to create detailed cross-sectional images of the body. This allowed doctors not only to see bones, but also to visualize soft tissues, organs, and even blood vessels with remarkable detail. CT scanning became one of the most important diagnostic tools in modern medicine, capable of detecting tumors, internal bleeding, and a host of other conditions with extraordinary precision. Beyond medicine, X-rays found countless applications in other fields. In industry, X-ray imaging is used to inspect the integrity of metal structures, welds, and pipelines, ensuring safety in construction, aviation, and manufacturing. In archaeology, X-rays help study mummies, artifacts, and ancient manuscripts without damaging them. In security, X-ray machines are used at airports to scan luggage and cargo for prohibited items, a practice now so common that people barely notice it. In art, X-rays reveal hidden layers of paintings, showing how artists change their work during the creative process. The impact of X-rays reaches into physics, chemistry, engineering, art, history, and everyday life. Culturally, X-rays fascinated the public in ways that mixed awe with fear. The early images of skeletal hands and bodies seemed ghostly and unsettling. The idea of seeing beneath clothing or flesh raised concerns about privacy and morality. Satirical cartoons from the late 19th century joked about X-ray glasses that could see through people as clothes, while opportunistic companies sold quack devices claiming to use X-rays for beauty treatments or cures. Over time, as scientific understanding grew, the mystery gave way to practicality. X-rays became part of routine medical checkups, industrial safety protocols, and airport procedures. What had once seemed magical became commonplace, though the wonder of Roentgen's discovery still lingers. One of the remarkable aspects of the X-ray story is how quickly it transformed from an obscure laboratory experiment to a worldwide medical necessity. Unlike some inventions that take decades to find practical use, X-rays were adopted within months. This speaks to both the simplicity of the early experiments and the obvious utility of the discovery. Doctors, patients, and scientists alike recognized its value almost immediately. At the same time, the dangers of radiation exposure forced the development of protective measures. Lead aprons, shields, and strict exposure limits were gradually introduced to protect patients and medical staff. These lessons in radiation safety paved the way for the safe use of other technologies, such as radiation therapy for cancer. The legacy of Wilhelm Roentgen is profound. He lived to see his discovery celebrated worldwide, but he never sought personal wealth from it. He even refused to patent the X-ray, insisting it was a discovery, not an invention, and should be freely available to benefit humanity. His humility stood in contrast to the enormous impact of his work. After his death in 1923, he left behind not only the legacy of X-rays, but also the spirit of scientific openness and service to humanity. Today, more than a century after their discovery, X-rays remain one of the most widely used and vital tools in medicine and science. They are used in billions of medical exams every year, from simple chest X-rays to complex CT scans. They have saved countless lives by enabling early diagnosis of diseases and guiding surgical procedures. They have expanded human knowledge of the physical world, from the structure of crystals to the hidden secrets of the universe through X-ray astronomy. The journey of X-rays is a testament to the power of curiosity, the role of chance in discovery, and the profound impact that one breakthrough can have on all of humanity. If one reflects on the story of X-rays, it becomes clear that their history is more than just the tale of a scientific discovery. It is a story about the human desire to see beyond limits, to pierce the veil of the unknown, and to uncover what lies hidden. From Roentgen's dimly lit laboratory in 1895 to the advanced medical imaging centers of the 21st century, the path of the X-ray has been one of continuous progress and adaptation. It is a reminder that sometimes the greatest advances come not from seeking specific answers, but from being open to unexpected discoveries. Roentgen did not set out to revolutionize medicine. He stumbled upon a mysterious phenomenon, pursued it with curiosity and rigor, and in doing so gave the world a gift beyond measure. The story also highlights the double-edged nature of scientific discovery. X-rays brought healing, insight, and knowledge, but they also carried risks and caused harm before their dangers were understood. The sacrifices of early pioneers who suffered radiation injuries remind us that progress often comes at a cost. Yet from those lessons came better safety standards, radiation protection protocols, and a deeper understanding of the balance between risk and reward in science. As we look back more than 125 years after the discovery of X-rays, their impact is still growing. New technologies such as digital radiography, advanced CT imaging, and even X-ray lasers push the boundaries of what is possible. At the same time, the principles of radiation safety and patient care remain central. The humble Hex that Roentgen used to name his mysterious rays no longer stands for the unknown. Today, it represents one of the most well-understood and indispensable tools in science and medicine. But the spirit of curiosity and wonder that first accompanied the discovery continues to inspire. The history of X-rays is thus not just a chapter in the history of physics or medicine. It is a story of human ingenuity, curiosity, and resilience. It shows how one discovery can ripple across every aspect of life, shaping science, culture, technology, and even art. From the glowing screen in Roentgen's laboratory to the life-saving scans in hospitals. Today, the X-ray remains a symbol of our ability to make the invisible visible, to reveal the hidden truths of nature, and to use knowledge in the service of humanity. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that there are always more mysteries waiting to be uncovered, more invisible worlds waiting to be revealed, and more discoveries that can change the course of human history.